Have you ever found yourself asking God, what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do in this season, in the second season? My kids are leaving home. I'm thinking about leaving my job. I'm retiring from work and I just don't feel done yet. I feel restless. And here's something that I want to make really clear is that I think it's not that God's not speaking to you or even that you're not hearing him. I think women are struggling, maybe you, because you're looking for your calling in the wrong place. So today I'm going to share three signs that God may already be revealing his next assignment. And I'm going to give you a simple exercise this week that can help you recognize and connect the dots around the patterns that he might have already laid down in your life and that have been there all along. Welcome back, Christine Burke. If you're new to me, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a coach, I'm a midlife mentor, and I lead midlife women to identify their greatest purpose and calling through their authority. And that authority comes from their lived experience. That's our street cred, ladies. I've been online marketing for, nearly 20 years, coaching, creating digital products successfully, running big teams in network marketing. And in somewhere in 2025, I decided to blow up my entire business and I decided to let God lead me in everything that I do. So I show up here every week and drop a training and I give you a free resource and we'll also do a really cool exercise at the end. So let's get into it. So sign number one, God is drawing you closer before he sends you forward. So you know that saying, God doesn't call the perfect or he doesn't call the prepared. He doesn't call the people who are all like got it all together. He prepares the called. He prepares the called. And isn't that true? And I think this is one of the biggest signs that gets overlooked all of the time. Before God changes what we do, he deepens who we are. Maybe you've noticed your relationship with him is a little bit different. Maybe you're a new Christian like me. I've only been around the block for a couple of years and wow, I mean, the relationship just keeps deepening. I just have more questions every day. But maybe you're finding yourself just stepping closer to him. Maybe you're praying more. Maybe you're finding yourself in a daily prayer routine that you've never had before. Maybe you're seeking biblical wisdom. You're reading the Bible. I'm doing the Bible recap 365 right now, which is amazing. It's a huge commitment, but I don't think I would actually sit down and read the Bible cover to cover if I wasn't doing it. Maybe you're just doing this stuff because you're genuinely hungry to understand him. Maybe you're asking deeper questions about your faith instead of just going through the motions. And I know you know what I mean. And we see this all the time in scripture. We see God preparing people in private before he entrusts them with their calling in public. So Moses, he spent years in the wilderness. David, he spent years as a shepherd and got thrown in the ring with a giant. Even Jesus spent time preparing before he built and went out publicly with his ministry. James 4 verse 8 says, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. So if you found yourself wanting to know Jesus in a deeper way, wanting to understand what he's calling for you, and you're just finding yourself in these situations, things are happening, you're starting to know that seeds are actually being planted, don't ignore that. Understand that he is preparing you for your next assignment. So lean into it. Find a friend, a mentor, a pastor, join a Bible study. I mean, the resources are so plentiful. Most of them are free. And just understand that God isn't just preparing you for your calling. He's preparing you for the foundation. He's preparing you with the wisdom, with the street cred, with the ability to actually follow through on it, which makes sense. And which also is why he doesn't always give us all 10 steps, right? This might just be the first step for you. So sign number 2 is the life that once fit no longer fits. Now, this is something that all women will most definitely relate to. We go through parenting, we go through marriage relationships, we go through menopause. Like, don't even get me into it. But maybe you're starting to see all of this, your midlife, your second act experience, as an opportunity versus a slow demise into insignificance. And God forbid us that we fall into a demise of insignificance. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and nobody really wants that. But what I'm talking about is, it's a sign if you're starting to recognize that all of this life experience, your empty nesting, for example, that frees up time, space, emotional energy, you're starting to realize and recognize that this is an opportunity for you. It means something has shifted. Maybe your children have grown up fully and they just don't need you in the same way. Maybe your career just isn't for you. Maybe you feel like you need to blow up your entire business if you're an entrepreneur and do something completely different that is aligned with something deeper for you and him. So for many women, this can be a little bit uncomfortable too, because sometimes we assume, especially if we are Christian followers of Jesus, that contentment means that we should never want anything anymore, that, we should just be happy, we should just be grateful and don't ask for anything more. But what we are asking for is wisdom and leadership, and but from him, so that we can steward what he wants us to be stewarding right now. And so it's not dissatisfaction, it's simply a transition. Isaiah 43 chapter 19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you perceive it?" And I love that question. Do you perceive it? Sometimes God is already doing something new before we have the language to describe it. Boom. So if you've been feeling restless and you're not sure how to describe what you're going through, and you don't know how to discern, or you don't have words for it, bring it to him. Bring it to him and ask him what he's trying to show you, because midlife is not a crisis. It's a commissioning. It's a breakthrough with you and him, so that we can steward what he's calling us to. Okay, sign number 3 is God keeps using your story. God seems to keep bringing people into your life who need something you've already learned or survived or built or experienced or achieved. Maybe people are saying to you, you should write a book because you've got such an incredible story. And here's the other thing about stories and life experience, and this is why I think this gets missed so often, is that life experience is our life experience. It becomes normalized just because it's our experience. But what we don't realize is that experience is somebody else's salvation. Our experience is somebody else's rescue. It's somebody else's success. What we have lived through should be taught to other women who are looking for the solutions that you've already achieved. So again, maybe people are suggesting that you write a book. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe you should start a business or a new business, like pivot in your existing business. When you're sharing your experience, someone just is so overjoyed and in agreement, or they comment on social media, "Oh, I needed to hear that. Oh, that's helped me so much." Those are signs. So one of the ways God often reveals our areas of influence and expertise is by giving us repeated opportunities to serve. And for me, that is especially true. I came into a new church here when I became a new Christian. I was baptized, and I just am walking deeper in service through the church. My bestie Natalie and I created something called The Unshakable Truth, 90 Days to Silence the Enemy, the book. It's not here in front of me. I'll have to show you next week. But we created that because we wanted to serve midlife women at a higher level and teach them how to dive into the word, okay, and silence the enemy. We got the enemy is strong in midlife. So we created that project, which is it's a fundraiser for our church. Deeper service, and remembering that service, that leading, that support, it comes from your lived experience. So maybe what you've gone through isn't part of your past. It's part of your preparation. It is your preparation. So instead of asking, "What do I do now?" ask, "Lord, what have you been preparing me to steward through everything that I've lived, experienced, won, lost, survived?" You get it. because I truly believe that God wastes nothing. Why would he? He's the smartest, most incredible, the holy of holies. Like he knows everything. Why would he waste your successes, your heartbreaks, your disappointments, your lessons? Why would he waste any of that? Okay. What he's actually doing is weaving them together into something that can serve other people to bring him glory. So if these signs resonated with you, I hope they did. Perhaps the question is, does God have a calling for me? And the question is, what has God been preparing me to steward all along? And this is what I'm doing a deep dive into in my free masterclass coming up on July 20th called the Midlife Commissioning Blueprint. And I'm going to show you how to connect the dots between your life, your story, and your next assignment, i.e., your commissioning. Action step. This week, I want you to take a piece of paper. Of course, I don't have one in front of me, but you don't need to know what a piece of paper looks like, and a pen. And I want you to create 2 columns, okay? In the first column, I want you to write down 5 seasons that challenged you the most, that challenged you, not just challenged you, that shaped you, that influenced who you are today. Okay. And in the second column, I want you to write down, corresponding to the season of challenge that shaped you, I want you to write down what God has taught you in each one. And I don't want you to look for perfection or whether something's right or wrong. Don't overthink it. I just want you to look for patterns. So, for example, we moved our family from Australia back to Canada in 2022. That was a challenge. That was a season for me. And it was not easy, number one, to move teenagers who were in times of transition all the way across the world. Like, you legit can't get any farther between where we were in Perth, West Australia, and Chatham, Ontario. Number two, we'd already done it before, which you'd think it would be easier, but it wasn't. Number three, I was going through menopause and crazy anxiety from about, 3 months before we left till about 3 months after we arrived. I went through serious anxiety. So, but I also know, and I've done this exercise multiple times, I also know that that season was the reason for so many things that have fallen into place. In other words, I know why he had us do that. I know why he called us here. I really want you to do the action step, and I would love to know what you find. As always, resource of the week. This week, I'm directing you to the Midlife Calling Assessment. It's already uploaded into the vault, and you can access that through the link below. Don't forget to sign up for the masterclass happening on July 20th. You can get that below. And I'd love to know which sign resonated with you the most, 1, 2, or 3. So one of the biggest shifts I've experienced in my life was realizing God wasn't asking me to invent a new version of myself. Well, one of the biggest experiences I've had is becoming a Christian and understanding that God is who he says he is. But I realized that he was inviting me into a season where I was meant to faithfully steward the woman he'd been shaping me to be all along. Boom. Maybe that's true for you too. So until next week, remember this: you're not starting from scratch. You're building from a lifetime of preparation. See you then.